Hey, yo, Cavs Nation. Even Charles Barkley said that this trade was terrible. Okay. And I may not be the first one to tell y'all that this is not a luxurious trade by any means. But this is exactly what the Cavs needed. This is the type of move we needed to make. One of the moves we needed to make. Why? Because the Cleveland Cavaliers has we got a few problems, y'all. And we had one glaring issue, which was DeAndre Hunter. Overpaid, underwhelming. Yeah, and we just turned that one glaring issue into two potential solutions. Dennis Schroder brings a level of ball handling and pace, IQ, veteran experience, and offense when the game gets tight that we need. And Keon Ellis, one big unknown. But what we do know about Mr. Keon Ellis is that he brings defense from the wing, switching ability, toughness, and we're going to need that exactly when it starts to get into the playoffs, right? So this move that we made, right, to acquire Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis in exchange for DeAndre Hunter wasn't about making noise or making a splash. This was about addressing issues on the court, addressing issues and filling holes in the locker room. And today, this afternoon, y'all, happy Sunday. Shout out to y'all. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about why this move matters, how it reshapes our rotation. We're going to play with some ideas a little bit. And we're going to talk about how and why it could be the quiet upgrade that this team has been missing all season. Now, I don't think that the Cavaliers organization is done making moves. And we can talk about that as well. But, welcome back to Cav State of Mind. You feel me? It's your girl, Naja Lee. And this is the realest Cavs breakdown on the net and the only place where hoops meet higher perspective, y'all. Each and every episode is powered by a lifestyle brand, none other than Freer Lens, empowering dope people like you to do everything, move, create, love, live with purpose and intention, y'all. And we are on the road to 500 subscribers. So please help us as we moving, right? You know what I'm saying? We jugging. I appreciate y'all all engagement on this channel from Cav State of Mind to her core to her rules to resilient and rooted. Whatever you clicking on, liking, and getting in the comments, I appreciate that. And most importantly, y'all hit that subscribe while you here. Cause again, we on the road to 500 subscribers, man. And listen, man, again, while you here, whether you here on the replay or here live, this is nothing but basketball love, basketball family. That being said, all viewpoints and opinions are welcome here. So pull up, get comfortable, get into the chat. You feel me? And let me know what y'all think about this trade, man. Lord knows. So when I saw it, right, I was like, okay. First of all, I was excited because me as a diehard Cavs fan, especially in this new Cavs regime, this new Cavs energy, right? With the introduction of Donovan, obviously the mentality of the Cavs has changed. The approach to the game has changed, right? That being said, I've been on the outside like, why don't we get Schroeder? Like, not just this season, but I've been screaming this for the last 3 seasons because we've always needed a backup point guard. And Schroeder has been known to be one of the best backup point guards, veteran backup point guards in the NBA. It's not, in my mind, it's not a bad thing that Schroeder is moved often, right? It's not a bad thing that he's traded often. Um, One would think from a business perspective, that means that I have a lot of value, you know what I mean? Because everybody needs a player like me. Every team can benefit from a player like Dennis Schroeder. As a matter of fact, every team has benefited when he played for them. Okay. So we're going to talk about first and foremost why this move why this move is important. Um, and let's break it down, man. Cavs state of mind. All right, so the Cavs turn one piece into flexibility, right? So we what I'm saying, we had a little vibe with DeAndre Hunter, more so last year than this year. Again, I've been saying it all year. This is episode 16. I've been saying it all year long about DeAndre Hunter. The moment the people said Ty Jerome ain't gonna be in the locker room no more, to your boy, he back on the that boy morale ain't been the same, right? So when the trade rumors started to kick up, then he played a little bit better, and then he died back down, and then give him 5 more games, and he'll give you another 17 points and about 8 rebounds, and you be like, oh, okay, is he back? Is he back? Is he getting his groove? And then the next game, he's shooting 22% from the field. He has turnovers. Yeah, he might give you 9 boards or something like that, but offensively and defensively, he's just been lackluster and a letdown, right? Respect to him though, because last year was a good time. Okay, but it was a good time for a whole lot of us on the Cavaliers roster. Okay, now it's time to show and prove. You don't get paid like you can just pull up and oh well, if you have a bad game, it's okay. He plays whatever. No, you get paid to show up for real, right? So shout out to the GM Altman. Shout out to upstairs Cavaliers management, right? We turned one seemingly disappointing apple, right, into two flexible edible arrangements. You feel me? Like when you have Schroder and Keon Ellis, let's talk about it. When you add them, we are getting guard depth and defensive versatility. As y'all know, Dennis Schroder, even though he might be, a shorter guard for real, he plays big. He plays big. He can really guard 1 through 3 because he plays that big and that aggressive. He's in your face. You feel me? If you don't like to be flustered, if you don't like a pest, this is not your guy. If you do want to pass, he is your guy, right? He's the perfect backup point guard because he gives you what DG doesn't, right? He gives you more size. He's an upgrade to Craig Porter Jr. He gives you everything Craig Porter Jr. gives you on top of more scoring because he's a veteran, right? He's a pros pro, right? He ain't just a veteran here, he a veteran in Germany too. You feel me? So it's a reason why, again, he keeps getting traded because there are teams that keep saying that I need him on my team. It's not that teams are just saying, oh, yeah, we got go ahead, get him. He ain't nothing. No, it's just like, shit, you really need him like that? Okay, well, we really need a piece too, right? And so we'll figure out because he's our backup. So that means that it's gonna be a little bit more stress on our front guards, right? When you have him, especially with the inconsistencies in Darius Garland, not just his inconsistencies in his play, right? Because how can you be consistent when you are rarely available, right? But how this helps, how this helps Donovan, how this helps Spider, how this helps our man with the cape, right? He's been playing great as a point guard. But there are moments when, again, when they're putting 2 people on him, 3 people on him, a point guard is not getting that type of pressure. A real point guard not getting that type of pressure because a real point guard ain't really a scoring threat for real, for real. Can't leave him open, right? You got to play him honest, right? But you ain't the one that we saying like, oh, you're not sending 2 at Ja Morant full court. But that's what you're doing for Donovan. Why? Because he's averaging 30 points a game, right? He can put up 25 points in one half, right? We've seen him drop 71 points. So yeah, you got to play him with a little bit more, pay a little bit more attention on that guy. That being said, we have a guard that can release him. Release, go ahead, give me the ball. I got it. I could put him on my hip, right? I'm strong, I'm smart. He ain't really getting his pockets picked like that. Schroder. He's smart. He's a veteran. He understands, right? And on top of mentally, Schroder, flustered. You're gonna fluster him. We'll see about that. Okay. So, boom, not only does it add guard depth, it adds defensive versatility. So Schroder again can guard 1 through 3. Then that gives you Keon Ellis. Boom, I'm gonna double that. Boop, you guard 1 through 3, I guard 1 through 3, bro. What we doing? Right? So now what does this do to your lineups? Now you can really have Donovan out there. Don, you ain't even gotta worry about really playing defense for real. For real. Go ahead, you get beat F it. Don't really worry about it. We got you. You could have Don out there with Schroder and Keon, right? Put Tomlin out there. Boom. Then put Evan out there at the 5. Talk about energy, defense, speed. You feel me? Like, so you can get super creative defensively and allow that to mobilize and energize your offense with or without these key injuries in Garland and Evan Mobley. So on top of that, those are great things, right? Guard depth, defensive versatility. Then it's going to save us between 40 and 50 million dollars in a luxury and salary tax. Y'all, this is a money game. This is a money game. So on top of that, on top of the fact that we like the personnel that we got, we do also like the weight that we shed in our financial status with the Cavs, right? We needed to position ourselves where we can go under the second apron moving into next season, and we're not quite there yet, but this piece gets us closer, right? And so that being said, why this move is for of a lot of reasons. Finances, right? The fact that DeAndre Hunter hasn't lived up to the hype, the fact that not only offensively has he struggled and he is in his career lows. I mean, let's talk about it. Hold on. He's struggled and he's in his career lows. And Charles Barkley was going off today or yesterday talking about why would they make that move? That's crazy. That's terrible. It don't make no sense. Tell me why it don't make no sense, Mr. Averaging 14 points a game. I'm talking about career lows, right? He's shooting 30% from the 3-point field, right? He's shooting 42% from the field, right? Career lows. Okay, four rebounds a game on this team where we highly depend on our guards, and you are our big guard, you are our small forward. No, you should be getting 7, 8 rebounds a game just off GP size alone. Why? Because you normally got 2 other small guards on the court with you. Where else are you unless you are not boxing out trying to get hitting the glass? And this is why your boy traded. I'm sorry, he had to go. He didn't earn his seat. Okay, sidebar again. Y'all know me if y'all been watching Cavs Say Tomorrow or anything y'all watch. Y'all know from car business. Anyway, fast forward. Okay, one thing that I learned about when you in sales, especially when you at a place that you in real estate, you at a brokerage firm, you wherever you are, you a lawyer, wherever you are. If you at a place where you surrounded by hitters and everybody gotta carry their weight, and when one person don't carry their weight, not only does it make it harder for the rest of the team, no, but your spot in itself is so valuable, right? I worked at a dealership that sold 400 new cars a month. New cars a month. We had 25 salespeople. Okay, you could do the math on that. If you one of them ones that act like you don't want to run with us, manager gonna sit you down and be like, "Hello, yo, you know how much your desk is worth? You got 1 more month, buddy. If I don't get 12 cars out of you, you feel me? DeAndre Hunter, you get paid too much. So it ain't about sympathy. This about business. This right here about business, and you wasn't holding your end, and that's cool. I wish you well in Sacramento. I think he's gonna do better in Sacramento. Maybe the baby boy like a little bit of sun. Maybe the cold too cold for him. You feel me? I don't know. Go ahead, Sacramento. Go get with Levine, and y'all go put up them endless stats, and fill up this stat line and do what you need to do, and be one of the worst teams in the West. Go off, sir. Go off. I wish you well though. Okay. I'm glad to move on. To be honest, it's not to sound like really you being nah, but I was tired. I was tired of hoping and wishing and hoping maybe this game, maybe we can get 3 game stretch, maybe. I was tired. So That being said, now that we done looking at his little miserable little stats, um, first and foremost, let's talk about the acquisitions that we have. Let's talk about the acquisitions. Let's get to know them. Let's get to know them. All right. First and foremost, we got Dennis Schroder. Okay. What does Dennis Schroder do off the top? He provides stability for us in the backcourt, right? This isn't about just surviving when Donovan Mitchell is not in the game, not just that type of stability. This is about how he can plug in and fit with any rotation that Kenny Atkinson throws out. If he wants to throw out a defensive rotation, you know what I mean? We're talking about full court or 3/4 court press. You feel me? If he wants to have that mentality, he can rely on Dennis Schroder. If he wants to run fast paced transition, he can depend on Schroder for that. If he wants to run, okay, so they locking us up. Okay, we can't get in the transition. They're getting back on defense. It's a half court game. He can still rely on Schroder for that stability. Okay. So now, what does he give you? On paper, he's a legit second ball handler. We know that. We know the Cavs struggle. If we look at the depth chart with the Cavs, we do have a lot of ball handlers. Everybody is in the comments on the ESPN. Oh my God, why did the Cavs get two more guards? Did we need two more guards? We got so many guards. We got so many guards. I say. Y'all don't know that much about basketball. We got a lot of guards. But these guards don't do the same thing. These guards do not do the same thing. Darius Garland is out. I told y'all before, early in Cavs State of Mind, right? Probably episode 1 or episode 2, I said that we've seen the best we was ever going to see of DG, period. He's maxed out, capped out, wrapped out. It's over with. It is what it is. On top of that, he's going to be unreliable. He's got 2 fractured great toes, injured great toe. I didn't even know we had 1 great toe. Now we got 2 great toes, and he down 2 great toes. Out of all the phenomenal science in the world, we got stem cell research, we got implants, we got all this. We can't find this man some refurbished toes. 2, we just need 2 great toes for him. Okay, we sending shit up to Mars, trying to get up to this and that and the third. We can't get this man 2. All right, y'all. That being said, the depth chart. We don't have the same type of guard, right? So Darius Garland in and out, it is what it is, right? He's a creator. He's a ball handler, right? He not only can he take the pressure off Donovan Mitchell, he can create his own shot for not just himself, but for every other person on the team. He can get you transition buckets. He got the goggles, right? He can get in the interior, right? He got the alley-oop. He got the no-look passes. He got all the intangibles for creating his own shot or creating for somebody else. When he's not available, who instantly slides into that rotation? Prior to Dennis Schroeder's acquisition, it was Craig Porter Jr. Well, here's the thing about Craig Porter Jr. He's not the healthiest of the guys either, right? He's been in and out of the lineup as well. Calf, hamstring, all type of things. Illness, okay? Tightness. Something ain't feeling right. It's always something with the young bucks. I don't know. Are they drinking 2% milk or something? Maybe we need to switch the milks out. Maybe we need to figure out what's going on with the up and downs, because the amount of injuries in the lower extremities, I'd be trying to figure out how, Sway, you only play 22 minutes a game. And when you do play, it's hard, but it ain't that hard for every other day. Okay. So without Darius, right, and an in and out Craig Porter Jr., y'all know I love Craig Porter Jr., but he's in and out of the lineup too with his health. Then that brings who? Lonzo Ball, Mr. Can't Shoot, Mr. Scared to get into the paint. I miss when Lonzo had about another 50 pounds on his body when he was down in New Orleans. I felt like he was a little bit more confident when taking the contact. Now I feel like he paper thin, and that's okay. He's not going to be somebody we need to worry about here in a minute, because he is 1 foot out the door. Okay, y'all know that Benny the Butcher track, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's what he is. He 1 foot in in Cleveland, 1 foot out. Okay, so he's not gonna play tonight. Cavs play tonight at 9 o'clock. It's gonna be a DNP for this guy again. Okay, and that's cool. That being said, no, if you don't have Darius and now you starting Craig Porter Jr. and then backing him up with a broke down Lonzo Ball, and yeah, Tyrese Proctor does some great things. He has a great jumper, but that's not the rotation that you need. And that's not the rotation that Donovan Mitchell deserves. He deserves somebody who has a little bit more experience to help run this offense. On top of that, Sam Merrill can play a lot of off-ball minutes, but he's not a ball handler. He's not a creator. He's a catch and shoot. You can ask him to be a little bit more creative if he's catching the ball like in motion, heading to the basket. He is a little bit more creative right there. But if you giving him the ball on the 3-point wing and then expecting him to do anything else but pass or shoot, you don't know his game that well. That being said, right? So if you don't have a Darius, you may or may not have a Craig Porter Jr. Even that being said, he's sometimes not that aggressive offensively. And yeah, he plays great defense, but then there are moments where his offensive IQ just lags a little bit. Tries to do too much. Okay, and then sometimes seeming to not do enough at times. Okay, plays with heart, yes, but we needed an elevation there. That's where Schroder comes in. Okay, so it's not about having a bunch of guards, it's about having specific and targeted creators and ball handlers. Right now, we know we have Donovan. Now we know for a fact we have Schroder. Okay, sometimes we're going to have Darius. We can have Jalen Tyson, but his ball handling isn't to the level of the creation that you need in pockets, yes, in moments, yes, especially in movement, especially in transition. You give him a little space, sometimes, most times he can make a great decision with it. But we're talking about when somebody is guarding you full court. We have to think about what happened to us in the playoffs. It's not about game to game regular season. Okay, we lost to the Phoenix Sun. They applied a little bit of pressure, sometimes get a little fragile. We talking about playoffs when certain teams, the OKCs, the Pacers, well, Pacers ain't gonna be a problem this year, but there are going to be teams that are going to play us. We get to the playoffs this year. The Magic, they're going to press us full court. Miami, full court. We can't rely on Donovan. We know what Max Strus does full court, right? He turns the ball over. Shout out to Max Strus. We come on, hurry on, come on back. That being said, Schroder adds to that and helps relieve that pressure from Donovan. So, that being said, man, uh, I love it. Oh, a couple things about Schroeder, if y'all didn't know, obviously, he plays some fantastic basketball this year, in Euro basket, FIBA basketball. Obviously, he was representing his home country in Germany. He averaged 20 points per game while dishing 7.2 assists in 9 games. And he helped lead that team for their first final appearance in 20 years. Dennis Schroeder is a big deal, y'all. Like I'm trying to tell y'all, he's a big deal. We're gonna look at some of his best plays in that FIBA tournament, just in case y'all did not know what type of time he was on. The boy got game, and there we go. You feel me? Again, with Schroeder, for me, I'm thinking about lineups. Right? So now that we got Schroeder, what does that look like for our starting lineup? Now we don't have to start Craig Porter Jr. We still might for the first couple games, but think we can start Schroeder, right? Then we can start Donovan and Tyson. That's our backcourt. Hella energy, great defense, right? Great speed. Okay. Schroeder can cover some ground in the fast court. I mean, in the fast break offense. You feel me? So that being said, when you have somebody like Schroeder and you are adding him to your lineup, It's a couple things you could do. Of course, you could start him. You start him with Donovan. You start him with Tyson. You can also bring him off the bench. Continue to start Craig Porter Jr. Okay, continue to start Craig Porter Jr. Then you bring him off the bench, and you still run with Tyson, Schroder, run Keon in there. Okay, bring it Tomlin up in there. Okay, and then you leave Evan at the 5. Okay, then you can run with Dean Wade, Schroeder, Ellis. I mean, you can really go crazy and stack up. Now, if DG is healthy, and then the first guard you bring it off the bench is Schroeder, right? So you can bring in a defensive attack, and y'all know Kenny Atkinson like to sub in 2 to 3 at a time, right? So you can bring in a defensive attack, okay, on top of length and versatility. You could potentially sub in Schroeder, Keon Ellis, and Larry Nance Jr. If we play in a big team, that's probably kind of how you're gonna start to play more big. Okay. Then you start to get super creative, and now you subbing in Tomlin, okay, and you still keeping Schroeder and Ellis in that rotation, so you always have defensive reliability in the backcourt, and that's really what the Cavs need. He is one of the only 2 bench players in the league that's averaging 10 points and 5 assists. 10 points and 5 assists. One of the only 2 bench players in the league. Come on. Again, he can create out offense with or without Donovan or Garland on the court. He can create for himself. And he can maintain the pace of the game. Again, flexible. Whether we want to run and gun, he can do that. Or if we want to slow it down and play half court, he can do that. Right. So I love the flexibility that we're getting with Dennis Schroeder. And yeah, man. If y'all didn't know, actually go back to Dennis Schroeder. If y'all didn't know, like Dennis Schroeder actually be cooking the Cavs. Like, I got a little graphic. Hold on, let me put this graphic up real quick. Dennis Schroeder actually be cooking the Cavs. Y'all know we just played the Kings a couple games ago, right? And we won, right? We barely won. But the 2 players at the Kings who really turned up and turned out and made it challenging for us, one of them was Sabonis, and the other one was Dennis Schroeder. Okay? So if y'all don't know that we really kind of lowest of the keys though, got a little steal. Do y'all understand that? Hold on. Did this do the same thing? We for real got a little steal, man. And hold on, I'm trying to pull these stats up for Schroeder, because y'all think he got a game that can go overlooked, right? And unnoticed. But the reality of it is that you gotta play defense on him. You have to check him. You can't sag off. He will drain that 3. He can get into the paint. You feel me? And when you have a person that can do multiple things with or without the ball, and we ain't even talked about the fact that, oh, what about him off the ball? Think about that. Think about that. So let's look at some of his recent games against the Cavs. His last 10 outings against the Cavs has been a cook show, right? He was chefing up, okay? When he played with Sacramento against us, again, he had 21 points and 4 rebounds, 4 assists. We know he was one of the energy guys with Detroit Pistons last year, okay, on their remarkable run last year. He scored 17 points, 7 rebounds, okay, and 10 assists, and gave him a steal. He cooked us. When he played with Golden State, okay, because in 2024 was a hell of a year for him. As y'all can see, all these different teams he played for. The boy decorated for real. When he played with Golden State, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Brooklyn cooked us in Brooklyn. 22 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Another game in Brooklyn. That was that they played 2 times that year. 17 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. Again, his IQ is up there. He can get the ball out there, right? We gotta look at Schroder like a little Rondo for real, for real. But he's more talented offensively than Rondo ever was. But Rondo is way more talented defensively. But that being said, it's a nice little balance and a duality there, right there. Then when he was in LA, like one of his best seasons, right? He cooked us again, 16 points. Okay, so the boy can score and he can pass the ball. Again, with last year with Detroit double 17-10. That's the type of guy we just acquired, which is insane. Is exactly what we needed. Okay? Exactly what we needed. That being said, Keon, he completes the picture. Okay. Again, we got rid of, one potential, it wasn't potential, one glaring problem with DeAndre Hunter, and we picked up 2 potential solutions that can fill in multiple holes for us. Keon Ellis, he is a defensive switching, threat, and he provides depth to this rotation, to multiple rotations that we can use. Again, I just played with a couple just with DeAndre Hunter. Keon, because he's an elite point of attack defender, we're going to see he's going to get a lot of minutes fast. He can play multiple positions as well, defend multiple positions as well. So in the East, when the East is really guard heavy, right? Okay, so now we could have somebody else besides Jalen Tyson being our defensive threat on the wing. Now you add Jalen Tyson with Keon, right? So now you can have Keon chasing around Tyrese Maxey, Keon chasing around Jalen Brunson, Keon trying to defend. Everybody gonna try to defend Jalen Brown. Keon out here, okay? Well, we're gonna see a lot of that. We also gonna see Schroder on some of them same guys. Keon Ellis averages 2 steals and 1 block per 36 minutes, which is crazy. That's a guard. That's a 6'4" guard. Say what now? What you saying now? Oh, okay. I don't want to hear nothing about this wasn't the smart trade from no damn Charles Barkley, who can obviously barely watch the games, to not understand that how smart and how next season this is. This is so upstairs. We right here. Cal State of Mind. What's up? He can switch across all guards and wings in the rotation, right? So think of like a Nickeil Alexander in Atlanta, right? But then you take it one more notch and you take it to the boy in Minnesota with the Timberwolves, right? We needed a guy that we could say put him on him. Don't worry about it, put him on him. Now we got Tomlin, now we got Tyson, and we got Keon Ellis on top of Schroder. That's a bonus for you. So we got 4 guys now that's now coming off the bench or in the starting rotation, depending on how Kenny Atkinson want to play it. When Max Strus get back into 100, you gonna still start Strus? That's another conversation. But that being said, we got 4 people that put him on him. No, we got it. Don't worry about it. Keon, assignment, boom, right? So K Cunningham, he been cooking. Okay, and we know he like to abuse on Lil Darius, right? He like to put him in the post and da 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 da. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. Okay. So he's a low usage, high impact role player. That's exactly what we need. We need those archetypes on our bench. We need people like Tyson. We need people like Proctor. We need people like Merrill. We need people like Tomlin. We need those players. Players that can say, whatever you need, coach, whatever the team need. I'm in it. What's up? What's up? What y'all need? I'm here. And I'm consistent. You know what you gonna get from me every game off the bench. Don't matter how many minutes I play. Don't matter what role I play. Don't matter if my job is to stop somebody. My job is to get the ball moving. My job is to be the energy guy. My job is to knock down the corner 3. Understand the role and fulfill it clearly. Okay. And you got to know what your assignment is. Again, remember I always say, knowing your role from what the coach tell you is different than understanding the assignment. And Ball didn't understand the assignments. You might know your role, but you ain't fulfilling your role. Also, you didn't drop the ball on your assignment. It's bigger than you just having a good season. You supposed to be over here revitalizing your career. You supposed to make the beef between the Brawl brothers a little bit lit. Oh, you in Charlotte over there cooking, y'all on a 6-game streak. We over here cooking over here in Cleveland, and I'm contributing to the cookout. But he ain't understanding the assignment. So, Ball on his way out. You feel me? Ball out, Ball. It is gonna be. I thought they was gonna package the boy and send him on to the abyss with DeAndre Hunter. You feel me? Usually when you get sent to the Sacramento, it's hard to get up out of there. Hard to get on out of there. It'd be like the black hole. You be in there for a time. Got to do your little bid, right? Got to be all right with the people. Okay. So shout out to Keon, man. And then, of course, with his extension, okay, and getting rid of all that money we was about to pay. Oh, DeAndre Hunter, Keon Ellis, and Schroder. We save between $40 and $50 million in the luxury and salary tax. Also, Keon Ellis, we acquire his bird rights, means that the Cavs can control his future. We don't, we can re-sign him, we can sign and trade, we can, we can do a lot. And Kobe Altman is pretty creative. You feel me? That boy, let me tell you something. Kobe might be from EC. Kobe know how to jug a little bit. You feel me? Just when you think the Cavs' back is against the wall, Kobe be like, hold on. Would y'all stop playing with me? I'm in the kitchen with the apron on. Right? So I think he did a great job with acquiring Keon and my boy Schroder. Again, it adds to the overall theme of February. February, we got to be dialed in this month, right? We have a ton of road games. We got some national TV games. We were successful on the national TV, ESPN against the Lakers, right? And then we look silly against Phoenix again because Phoenix applied a lot of pressure, right? Welcome back, Uncle Shannon. Welcome back to Cast State of Mind. Always pulling up and hopping in the chat. Man, I love the trade too. I think it gives us so much balance, so much flexibility in the backcourt with the rotations. Only Kobe decision I didn't like was not trading Garland for KD. I mean, the fans love Garland, but we also been like, hello, the writing has been on the wall. First and foremost, back in the day when we drafted Garland, I scratched my head then because I'm like, but don't we kind of have this type of player in Sexton? Except for, Sexton is not, he's not a better ball handler. No. Is he a better scorer overall? One would say no. However, Sexton can score. He's had seasons where he can average, 15, 16 points. You feel me? He can score. He's tough. He's strong, right? He can always get to the basket. He's got the mid-range game. So I was like, well, damn, man, we getting a little bit of an upgrade to Sexton, but also a downgrade defensively, right? Not that Sexton got some great defense, but he's a little bit bigger. Harder for you to pick on him. That being said, I was like, okay, well, he better be outstanding offensively, and that he is, but he's not outstanding health wise. So I like Garland, but his toe is a major concern. Yeah, so he got the surgery on the left great toe, and then about 3 weeks ago or whatever, he stubbled the right great toe or some shit. So now that's strained. They're like, oh, it's not as bad as the first injury on the left one, and I'm like, just go to Amazon and 2-day ship some new toes. Like, what is we doing? They play at the Cleveland Clinic courts. Last time I checked, Cleveland Clinic was a top 5 hospital in the nation. Y'all ain't got no robotic toes nowhere. Like, they got robotic dogs and soldiers and all type of things. We can't get an artificial AI toe made by the open AI chat GPT. Can I go and make Darius Garland a toe DIY? What do he need? I keep saying it. At this point, New Balance ought to be embarrassed. Y'all can't get his toes. Is it the shoe? It gotta be the shoe, dog. He better off playing in Reeboks. Okay, no disrespect to Angel Reese and all that, but I'm just saying, if the New Balance can't get your toe, because it ain't just your body, dog. It ain't just your body. Like your toes ain't just all of a sudden brittle. You feel me? I feel like it's the shoe. If I wore a pair of shoes and I roll my ankle every time, every couple games in that pair of shoe, I would be a fool to keep wearing that damn pair of shoe. I would be a fool. Even if it's just a superstition side of me. I'm getting me some new shoes because I think those shoes are cursed. I would never wear them again. And for the life of me, I can't figure out. I know you got that little endorsement or whatever, but you need to drop them New Balances for your toes' sake. It's costing you all-star appearances. Really? Really? Is it worth the all-star appearances? Is New Balance worth the all-star appearances? I don't think so. Is it worth a chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't. Boy, you better switch over to them damn Jaws, them Sabrina threes. And the way DG plays is bad for a constant toe injury. And I kept saying, here's another part. Thank you, Uncle Shannon. And here's what I've been saying too. All the technology, we got stats for days. We got stupid stats. Don't nobody even care about half the stats. Why can't we get a specific stat for Darius Garland? You got X amount of stutters you can do a game before you blow a toe out, right? Like when you buy a set of tires, it tell you got about this tire guaranteed for at least 60,000 miles. After that, dog, I don't know what to tell you. And the more expensive the tire you get, usually you got less miles on it because that tire can do a lot more, right? Anywho, that being said, he got 2 bad tires, 2 bad great toes. He needs to have a ticker in his damn New Balance that say, okay, he can run these amount of miles, he can go this speed, he can have this amount of torque, this amount of pressure. It needs to have live statistics and updates sent to his coaching staff in the game that say, okay, with a measuring bar, you got the percentage, you got the actual metrics, and you got some graphics, right? With the little measuring bar. All right, dog, he about 70%. Make it like a 2K game. For real though, like the little Gatorade badge and shit. When you running, you like, oh, my dude tired. Let me hold up off the R2, right? Let me back up off the boost, right? He's slowing down, right? We need to do the same thing with Darius Garland. We got smart watches. He need a smart shoe that tracks all his stutters, his hesitations, every time he stopped and went, every time he had burst, every time he accelerates, so we can see how much pressure can he really put on this foot before this foot or this toe caves in and said, not today, dog. I've had enough. Shout out to JTTVP podcast, always pulling up, one of my moderators. While y'all here, make sure y'all do what she said. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Get into the comments, whether you hear live or you hear on the replay, man. Let me know what y'all feeling about the latest trade. Y'all know the Cavs kicked out DeAndre Hunter and acquired Schroder and Keon Ellis in exchange, and we approve. Okay, that's my message, and I approve that. That adds to our February focus. Again, we have playoff level opponents damn near every other game. We cannot take any nights off. Over the next 13 games, we just started this stretch against LA. Okay. And then we continue on against Phoenix. Right. So we got 11 more games in this 13 game stretch, and we won 1-for-1 right now. Okay. We 50% in this 13 game stretch right now. So now it's time for us to hit the gas. We're going to find out if Cleveland is just hot, you know what I mean? Because we've been doing well over this last 10, right? And we can stretch it out to the last 15. We're going to find out if we really hot or if we really looking at a playoff ready team or the playoff ready potential. And that's sad because we came into the season saying that the Cavs were the best team in the East, clearly, right? And now we've been asking ourselves, You know, are we playoff ready? And at this point, playoff ready for the Cavs means Eastern Conference Finals. First round doesn't matter. Second round, we better get through. We got to get to the third round, which is the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's what we're talking about. How you feel about DG for the Michael Porter Jr. trade? That would be so perfect for the Cavs. I kind of like the trade, but then I think a part of the trade still means that we still will be down a ball handler, right? Because I think that Schroder and Donovan gives us a bona fide two that we can depend on, right? And then Darius is in and out, right? But Craig Porter Jr. Can we do we really know we can depend on him in playoffs? Because we think in playoffs right now. The regular season matters, but when the roster shrinks, and he's gonna shrink it to a certain extent, you got to think that, okay, I just need 3 ball handlers in constant rotation, right? And 1 ball handler that may not do so much ball handling, but he's such a threat on the court where you gotta respect him, right? So that gives you the Jalen Tysons, the Sam Merrills of the world. Okay. That being said, that's 5 ball handlers. That's 3 for sure and 2 possibles. We already got 5, but Darius is so critical in the ball handling right now that I think that I don't think you can make that move for him this season. But I think once this team is restructured, moving into next season, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's only if we can up if Craig Porter Jr. ups his ball handling ability and his aggressiveness offensively, if he can up that level a little bit, and or if Tyrese Proctor can improve his ball handling ability, then I think that yeah, go ahead and part ways with DG and get a another switch big and bona fide scorer and just a savage. So I'm okay with that. Next season, I'm not okay with that this season, if that answers your question. Donovan plays better overall at point guard, in my opinion. It forces him um to play make more. I've been kind of saying that for a minute. I feel like at this point in his career, especially with his size, I feel like he should be the de facto point guard. Jalen Brunson is a phenomenal scorer, and he's one of the weakest, if not the weakest, defender at his position in the league. And yet and still nobody talks about his lack of defense. Nobody talks about his terrible on ball defense. We only talk about how when it's time for him to score and go get a bucket, he knows exactly what to do. He goes and get that bucket. That being said, Donovan is the same type of guy. I think Donovan is actually a better defensive defender than Jalen Brunson. But that being said, Jalen Brunson starts at the point guard position and not the shooting guard position, and obviously he's a shooting guard. So with the Cavs, go ahead and put Donovan in that shooting guard, that point guard position, okay, and then have Tyson at that shooting guard, and then run with Dean Wade or Tomlin, right? And then you can run with Evan and Jared. Shit, and if Evan ain't there, I like Larry Nance down there. You know what I mean? I like Tomlin down there, right? So we got some options. We still need another big, like a big, not no lightweight, featherweight, want to shoot threes big. I'm talking about somebody that's gonna be in that paint and move you. That's what we need. Okay. So I don't mind Mitchell at the point guard position, but also I think with how he plays the point guard position, I think he just takes a lot of dribbles for me, just unnecessarily. Whereas I think that people like Schroder is a little bit slower and a little bit more cautious. It kind of is pacing a little bit more, whereas sometimes Donovan, and I love Don, but sometimes he be like a hair too fast, right? That adds to turnovers and things like that. But that being said, every time he plays big point guard minutes, usually he's very successful in that. So I'm not mad at that. Donovan plays better. Oh yeah, you already said that. I will roll out point guard Mitchell, shooting guard Tyson, small forward Porter Jr., power forward Mobley, and then Allen at the 5. So they tried to do this lineup, and we got spanked. Porter is too small. Oh, you talking about Michael Porter Jr., not Craig Porter Jr. I'm assuming you talking about Michael Porter Jr. Well, that would be crazy if we had Mitchell, Tyson, Michael Porter Jr., Mobley, and Allen. I think you would still need a little bit more defense here because sometimes Porter can get so locked in and focused on the offense that he might forget about defense. So, but yeah, I'm not mad at that lineup if we had that. You said anyone but Dean Wade. When Dean Wade can finally make a jump shot, I'm talking about from anywhere, whether it's free throws, the corner three, the wide open wing three, the mid range. If he can just make some shots sometimes, I think Dean Wade is a good player. He just is soft, bro. He just soft. Even when he do go up and dunk, I'm like, yo, he just a good guy. That guy is a good guy. You feel me? I look at Dean Webb like that's a good guy right there. You know? But he need to ah, so I like Dean, but I'm okay with other people in the rotation in replacement of Dean Wade, like Tomlin. You know what you're gonna get with Tomlin from the defensive standpoint and from the energy standpoint, and he's gonna try to dunk on somebody and make a poster. So I love that, right? Yeah, I'm even okay with playing more Larry Nance. Ain't that what we got him for? Why we not playing Larry Nance more? I don't get it. Yeah, Dean Wade is very inconsistent, and we need to do better with that. He needs to do better with that. Because usually when he's not playing well, it just really kills the momentum because Donovan be dropping dimes. Donovan probably could average like 7 assists a game, but so many people miss buckets. So the next 13 games matter. They matter a lot. It will prove not just to ourselves, but it will also prove to the bozo commentators in mass media that the Cavs are serious, and that you need to trust our management and trust Altman because Altman, when in crunch time, makes pretty decent, fair decisions. That being said, we started this 13 game calendar stretch with the Lakers. We won that game, right? Last episode I did a prediction over the next 13 games, predicted a win against the Lakers, was right there. I predicted a win against the Phoenix Suns. Obviously I was wrong there, but we got outplayed. We got out whistled. And yeah, so here we go. It was the same thing in Utah. They missed so many buckets assisted from Donovan Mitchell Dimes. Exactly. It was the same exact thing. I'm like, he didn't have enough help in Utah, and you hate to see that kind of mirror the same thing over in Cleveland. And it's not that we aren't getting the right personnel. It's just that the personnel, they're not doing the job. They're not doing the job. And if he's applying all the pressure, if he's doing all the work, taking all the contact to create shots, man, you got to knock down the shot. It ain't no excuse. There is no excuse for knocking down the shot. This what you practice for. You feel me? You ain't have to do the work to create it. All you got to do is catch and shoot 2K badge. Boom. What you doing? And usually Donovan attracts so much attention. When I tell you them shots be wide open. Them dimes, he be they be wide open. A defender might have 2 full steps to cover the ground because they are dropping so much. 2 to 3 people are dropping on Donovan every time he drives. Every few dribbles he make, they're on him, right? So you got Dean Wade, you got Jalen Tyson, you got Sam Merrill when he's out there, you got Proctor, you got Ball, you got Tomlin, right? You got Evan, right? You got all these people around him, and usually it be like Uncle Shannon said, you took the words out of my mouth. Brick after brick. Brick after brick. Sam Merrill, usually he be all right. He be on. But sometimes he just so unavailable at times. But we know Jalen Tyson be on. He's shooting top 5 in 3-point percentage in the NBA. He number 5. Right? So he on. But Wade don't be on. Tomlin, hey, that ain't been in this game, but he's so new, he's so green. Shit, you take it. You don't tell him to stop shooting, right? Because you don't want his morale and his energy to be turned down. No, to keep shooting that, throw that brick up. Dean Wade, you got to make that though. Proctor, oh, you know for hitting them. Dookie, make them. Lonzo Ball, stop shooting them. See, that's why you done shot your way into a trade. Because you've been building brick. We didn't need no carpenter. We went out and got a backup point guard and creator and defender, right? We didn't go get a backup carpenter. What? We outsourced that. We don't need that on the squad. That's what Lonzo Ball been doing. Brick. He's shooting so fast. I'm like, he need to slow his jump shot down because it ain't dry. It don't be draining. It's broke. If I broke. That being said, slow it down. Slow the shot down. Don't even worry about it. You about to be somebody else's problem. And if we finish the season with my boy, somebody's boy Lonzo Ball, then so be it. So be it. But just know you're gonna have DNPs for the rest of the season. Kenny let them do though. Kenny don't tell them to stop shooting. And sometimes I'll be willing to tell them to stop shooting. And it's not full breaks on the shooting. It's let's stop shooting the first 5 seconds in the shot clock. Let's stop shooting when only one person has touched the ball. Let's actually move the ball around. Let's actually force the defense to do their job. Let's make these bodies have to switch and cover the ground so we can at least create an open shot. No, we want the hard contested shots. Last time I checked, we don't have a J.R. Smith anymore. He's the only one that I say contested, take it. Take it. He's the only Cavalier besides Kyrie that I'm like, tested, contested, multiple people on you, and Donovan Mitchell, take it. Everybody else, and I mean everybody, even including LeBron, unless he in the paint, pass the ball. Pass the ball. You cover more ground with the pass. That's basic basketball. Do we got to go back to basics? I think so. So tonight we play the Trailblazers at 9 p.m. I'm going to tell y'all right now, more than likely, I ain't watching that game. The Cavs like to play down to competition. And if I stay up late to watch them and witness them lose against the Blazers again, I will be highly, highly pissed off. That being said, I'm not watching this game. Plus, it's late and folk got to work tomorrow, and I'm not about to be up till 11 o'clock for the Cavs. And the Cavs versus the Blazers at that. Okay, boom. So let's predict these next couple of games based on the new acquisitions now, because this changes everything, right? More than likely, Schroder and Keon Ellis ain't playing today. So let's talk about today's game without DeAndre Hunter. Okay, well, that means way more minutes for Tomlin. We don't even have to discuss it. Thank you. Been needing that. Gonna need that against these young gunners over here in Portland. So, because we lost against Phoenix, we need this win. We need to get back in the win column, and we need to get back fast because we can't go into Los Angeles playing the Clippers and looking bad. That being said, we got to take this win. I'm going to go ahead and predict a yes tonight against the Trailblazers. Again, I'm going to still stand on what I said before with the Clippers, a yes against the Clippers. Now that we have another defender, another point guard, yes against the Clippers, yes against Sacramento. They're going to have themselves a game in Sacramento. Yes, finally we have the upper hand in the locker room with having some insider secrets and some secrets because we've been pretty much having the same team, right? So we needed this. Yes, against Sacramento. Now going against Denver, I still think is the best team in the West. I don't care what OKC doing. Yeah, they won last year, but the best person on this planet with a basketball is Jokic. Okay? And against Jokic, we beat Denver last month. Okay? But they didn't have Jokic. Now they're going to have Jokic, and Jokic came back first game back from his injury, didn't play basketball in 29 days. First game back from his injury, 30 and 12. 32-12, something like that. I said, what you doing, bro? Stop you. Look, Cavs gonna make it hard. It's crazy. So what y'all think about Denver? I don't know. Question mark on Denver. Again, I'm gonna still circle that game. L versus Denver. L versus Denver. If Jokic playing, I'm gonna say L. I hate to do that, but I'm a realist. Okay, I'm gonna say L versus Denver as well if Jokic playing. Okay, Clippers. We better win. Okay, I mean with the Wizards, we better win. We ain't doing that. So win. So right now we got win against Portland, win against Clippers, win against Sacramento, loss against Denver, win against Wizards, win for sure against Brooklyn. Now the way the Hornets been playing and been cooking, we got to circle the Hornets game now. But I'm still gonna say win on the Hornets. Too much depth, too much now, a lot more experience. Okay, and don't let Darius Garland be healthy. Huh. Okay, so boom. So we got win against Lakers, loss against Phoenix, win against Portland, win against Clippers, win against Sacktown. Okay, loss against Denver, win against the Wizards, win against the Nets, win against Charlotte, circle OKC. They embarrassed us on Christmas, so we got to get that lick back, but circle that game. I got win against the Knicks. We still don't know what they're gonna do, right? Still a couple more days in this trade deadline. What if they get Giannis, right? What if they do some crazy? Now Giannis is, he still should be injured. They said out 4 to 6 weeks. So if he gets traded to the Knicks and suddenly he's available, question mark, question mark, question mark. But that being said, we're gonna circle this Knicks game too, even though I got the win against the Knicks. Okay. And of course I got the win against the Bucks. And now that brings us to the last game of the month, which is on the 27th against the Detroit Pistons. Now we circle that game too. With the addition to Schroder and the healthy Garland, and let's say, Lord forbid, or basketball gods be on our side, that we are healthy with Merrill and may even be healthy with Max. Let's not even talk about Max. But let's say we got a healthy backcourt between Schroder, Merrill, and Craig Porter Jr. on top of Tyrese Proctor deep in the bench, okay? And have Darius Garland for this game on the 27th. I'm going to take Detroit in that game. I'm sorry, I'm going to take the Cavs in that game. I'm definitely taking the Cavs in that game if everybody is healthy, excluding Max Strus. On top of Evan Mobley, come on, man. I think we're gonna go ahead and take that game. So boom, let's call it out again. Lakers wins, Suns lost, Blazers win, Clippers win, Kings win, Nuggets win. Oh, Nuggets lost. That's 2 losses so far. So we got a loss to the Phoenix, loss to Nuggets, possibly lost to OKC, and I got wins all across the board. I got win across the board. Uncle Shannon got win against the Pistons. Uncle Shannon got the win against the Knicks. Uncle Shannon got the loss against Denver, and I'm on par with all of that. So if we in this 13 games, okay, and we got 3 losses, okay, that put us 10-3 for the month of February. Okay, that will put us 10-3 for the month of February. Right now, we sit 29-21. So if we're 10-3 for the month of February, that will put us at 39 games and 24 losses. Okay, 39 and 24. So I asked y'all last episode by February 27th at the end of the Detroit game that we would have played 61 games. We would officially be 3/4 away. Or I'm sorry, 2/3 through the season. 2/3 through the season at 61 games. Okay. That being said, if we are realistically at 39 wins and 25 losses, do y'all feel really good about, our chances? Okay, our chances not just to get to the playoffs and, to get back to where we were, but our chances to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and win. If we're sitting at 39 wins out of 61 games, right? We should still definitely be pacing. We will still have another 22 more games left or 21 more games left. So, we still could potentially, get to that 40, maybe 50, 55, something like that. We can see. We'll see. But if we had 39 wins at the 61 game mark, I think realistically that I think we have a great chance. I think that we should definitely be the team to beat and a team to watch and a team to pay attention to moving forward as the season closes. And we got to start to look at this team now that we have the full roster. And listen, ESPN so fast with the roster online that they already got the new roster up. Like I said, oh shit, they already said, oh bye Hunter. They was tired of Hunter too. It looks like it. It looks like even ESPN was tired of Hunter. So let me look at the roster real quick. That being said, you know what I mean, with the healthy roster coming to April, I think we all right. This roster is really familiar and built around the team that built mirroring the team that beat us last year in the Pacers, right? We got that power forward that can stretch the floor, that can be the defensive anchor that they had last year. We have with Evan Mobley. We have Jared Allen, who's also anchoring our defense in the paint. We can back him up with Thomas Bryant if need to, and that's exactly why we got Thomas Bryant for the playoffs, not necessarily for the regular season, but he's a big time playoff contributor, right? And plus, we have Naquan Tomlin. We actually waived Luke Travers. He wasn't going to be, in our rotation at all anyway. He was a two-way player. We have Dean Wade still. So now, and we have Larry Nance Jr. We still need another big, and more than likely, I'm assuming we'll probably flip Lonzo Ball for another big here moving soon. But for what we have right now, I mean, at this point, they love Max Strus, but if they traded Max Strus, we owe him a lot of money. If they traded Max Strus, I wouldn't be mad either. I don't know what you're gonna play like after that foot. We already dealing with two broke toes, right? So we got two broke toes and somebody over here with a broke foot. Then we got Evan Mobley with weak ass calves, right? Then we got Craig Porter Jr. He can't get his hamstrings stretched out enough. Probably. Would you go to Massage Envy? Get you a damn. What is we do? Whew. And then Hunter was very much. He was terrible this season. He been playing terrible this season. And it's like you big for nothing. You ripped for nothing. Like at least the you at least play good defense. At least try hard. Just try harder on defense. Ain't you the ACC stopper? You was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. We remember that. We remember when you won with Ty Jerome down there in Virginia. We remember that. You was and now you got the jumper. You got the strength. You got the. We put somebody on a poster early in the season with the crossover to him, and I'm like, I'm with you though. I doubt they move on Max. I think they love Max. They love what he gives the locker room. They love his energy. They love his pressure. And pressure meaning like he a Chicago baby. You feel me? He ain't even supposed to be in the NBA. That boy went to DePaul. DePaul. If it wasn't for his performance in the bubble over there with Miami and Jimmy Butler, they went crazy. They went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, went all the way to the finals. So, they love that energy. And plus, he got the respect of the locker room. He got the respect of Donovan. And when you got the respect of the leader on the team and you also represent the other leaders on the court, then you matter. You matter. So, yeah, they ain't going to move on Max Strus. But the Cavs, I think we in good hands. I think we did well with this acquisition. I think we get one more piece, one more big, so a big that got a little weight on them. You know what I'm saying? Go see what Andre Drummond doing. Like, go see what's up. What's the other dude who played for? He on the bench over there in Denver Nuggets. Who was with Lob City and them? Yeah, go get him. Right, the other DeAndre. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think the Cavs are well. We gonna be all right. Um, you know. So shout out to the Cavs, shout out to the upper management, shout out to Kobe Altman for knowing when it's time. When it's time to pull the press the easy button. You feel me? Again, like I feel like he's learning from his past mistakes and holding on to players too long. So we are currently presently in an experiment with him holding on potential players too long. So, that being said, we're gonna see how this team is engaged moving forward, especially in tonight's game against Portland. We're starting that road trip again. So it's gonna be serious. So we gotta show up over the course of this next 13 games, man, because again, it matters. Again, put the 13 games up. We got Blazers tonight, Clippers, Kings, Denver, Wizards, Nets, Hornets, Thunder, Knicks, Bucks, closing out the month on the 27th with Detroit. So we lock in, we do what we need to do, we apply that calf state of mind pressure. All will be well in Cleveland heading into one of the most important months, which is and March and April. So shout out to y'all for pulling up. Y'all know we do this each and every Wednesday around 6 p.m. EST. Cavs State of Mind. This is a special episode, breaking news with the trade. So I had to give y'all that breakdown. And then y'all also know that every Monday at 6 p.m. EST, we do the Her Core, Her Rules, where we talk about NCAA women's basketball and break down that top 25 AP poll. We've been doing that every Monday. As always, hella engagement in the chat. So if you love women's basketball, especially NCAA, been watching them crazy games all weekend long, they definitely want to pull up tomorrow around 6 p.m. EST right here on the Beyond Lens TV. And y'all know each and every episode is powered by none other than For Your Lens, a lifestyle brand encouraging dope people like you to do all things with purpose and attention. I appreciate y'all pulling up. While you here, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and leave your comments on right here on the page. Let me know what y'all think about this move. Do y'all like the acquisition in Dennis Schroder and Keon Ellis? What y'all think we're going to do over the next 13 games? Give me your predictions. Hop in the chat. Your voice is always heard and much appreciated. Again, happy Sunday. Calf State of Mind. Y'all already know who it is. It's your girl, Naja Lee. Peace and freedom. See y'all on the flip.